All right, let's try a little thought experiment. I want you to imagine a really simple but kind of strange situation with me. I think you'll see where this is going.
So, picture this. A guy gets kidnapped. He's knocked out, and when he finally comes to, he finds himself on a moving train. The weird part? He has absolutely no idea how he got there. No memory. Nothing. Now, he feels perfectly fine, totally sane. But his situation is anything but normal. He glances around at the other passengers, and this is where it gets really bizarre. They're all just acting normal, chatting, reading, as if it's just another Tuesday on their morning commute. So here's the big question, the one this whole thing hinges on. In that exact moment of pure confusion, what is the very first thing a rational person should ask? What's the logical move here?
Okay, so what does a rational response even look like in a situation this weird? Well, when you're thrown into a reality that makes no sense, your first instinct should be to get some answers, right? To figure out what on earth is going on.
The most reasonable questions are pretty simple, but they're also the most important ones. Who brought me here? Where's this train even going? And, the big one, why am I here at all? These three questions get right to the heart of everything.
But what if he didn't do that? What if he took the total opposite approach? The path of just, blending in, blind conformity.
So instead of asking those huge critical questions, imagine he just kind of shrugs it off. He looks around, sees everyone else is acting normal, and decides, well, I guess this is just what we do now. He just starts adopting their routines, completely ignoring the massive, unanswered questions hanging over his head.
So this really sets up two totally different ways of thinking, doesn't it? On one side, you have the questioner. This is the person who asks why and challenges what's happening. And on the other side, you have the follower, who just copies the crowd and passively accepts the situation for what it is.
Now, if we saw someone acting like that follower in this crazy situation, what would we think? We'd probably say he's being a fool, right? That he's not thinking straight. It's obviously an irrational way to behave, isn't it?
And this is where the whole thought experiment takes a sharp turn and points the mirror right back at us. This is the moment it stops being about some random guy on a train and starts being about something a lot closer to home.
Because here's the real gut punch question. Aren't we all, in a way, on a train? We all just kind of wake up in the middle of this thing called life, with no real memory of how we got here or a crystal clear understanding of why.
So let's just lay out the analogy here. The train, well, that's life itself. The other passengers, they represent society. We all just find ourselves on this journey together, surrounded by people who are, for the most part, just going through the motions and following the same old routines. Which brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important question of all. This isn't about a hypothetical man anymore. It's a question for every single one of us.
And that's really what it all boils down to. When you take a hard look at your own life, are you the one asking the big, tough questions, or have you just gotten comfortable, adopted the routines of the other passengers, and decided to just ride the train? That's something to think about.